Good morning. It's Tuesday, February the 11th, and this is The Drill. Thank you. I'm Ron, your host and the only true conservative in the United States today. Unlike those who pretend to know socialism, I actually do know socialism because I grew up in a socialist household. My podcast is short, approximately 5 to 10 minutes long, because shorter podcasts are easier to download and listen to. I've been listening to Rush Limbaugh since 1989. I've been listening to Sean Hannity since he became syndicated. I've been listening to Hugh Hewitt, Glenn Beck, and Joe Pags for about 5 years. My podcast is made available through Spreaker and can be heard on iTunes, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. Today, socialist propaganda from my foster parents, post-Marxism is dead, you can't get something for nothing, and living according to the precepts of power or the precepts of business. All that when I come back. Thank you. Welcome back. My foster parents had some favorite words and phrases. Fair, sadistic. Sadistic was one they used in place of mean. My foster parents, you weren't just mean, you were sadistic. You enjoyed being mean. And fair, again, it's the typical lefty thing. Well, it's not fair, it's not fair. That's so American, and they would say that with a dirty look on their face. Why do I always have to ask? Because they expected us to make a sacrifice for the greater good. But unfortunately, my foster mother was never happy. My foster parents never uttered one single socialist phrase or slogan. You would never hear, "Up the revolution," "Stick it to the man," etc. What my foster parents did instead was to simply presume socialism. They pretended that the world was already socialist and were on constant lookout for non-socialist behavior. And when they saw it, they would issue sanctions like reprimands and beatings. When I come back, the left is fragmented and virtually powerless. Thank you. The left is becoming more and more fragmented, and I speculate that in the long run, the left will end up destroying itself. It's post-Marxism. Post-Marxism represents the death of the left. Have you ever watched the left in action? Antifa, impeachment, non-gender bathrooms, the destruction of white culture, banning plastic straws. What in the world does any of this have to do with socialist paradise? Socialist paradise is what the world has been promised by Karl Marx, thank you very much, and what the world expects. What the world is getting is egotism and narcissism offered up as an inadequate substitute by would-be socialists. Up next, you can't get something for nothing. Thank you very much. I heard a commercial on the radio for a mattress retailer in which the audience was told that if they could find a mattress for less, the retailer would give the customer the mattress for free. This reminded me of metaphysical law number 6. You can't get something for nothing. Everything costs. Everyone has a reasonable expectation. The reasonable expectation of being compensated for their time, efforts, and talents. That means that the real question is, who's paying? Up next, solar power to enhance your lifestyle. Thank you. I was listening to the radio recently and heard a commercial for solar panels, and I immediately assumed that the company and the people that do business with it are lefties. In reality, however, solar panels are politically and culturally neutral. Motive is what gives solar panels, and lawn replacement for that matter, any political or cultural significance. Have you gotten solar panels? Have you torn up your lawn and replaced it with sticks and stones? Did you get these things at the behest of someone else because the mayor or governor recommended it? Or did you do these things on your own? Did you do these things to save yourself money on your utility bills? Or did you do these things to stick it to the man or to show your neighbors that you're down for the struggle? These decisions are an expression of cultural significance. The true conservative minds his own business, and the socialist is always sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. I want to add an addendum to this, that what I'm talking about with solar panels and tearing up your lawn or replacing your lawn are California issues, in that the governor seems to think that we don't have enough power, and that the solution for that is not to generate more power, but simply to conserve, and that the best way to conserve is to use solar panels. The same thing goes for water, where we supposedly have this big water shortage in California, when in reality most of the water is being used by farmers, by agriculture, people that grow almonds, for instance. But that the governor, again, wants, instead of finding other ways of generating water, such as desalinating the Pacific Ocean, instead what he wants us to do is to conserve, to make a sacrifice. And one of the ways that he expects us to make a sacrifice is by tearing out our lawns and putting in cactuses or sticks and stones, as I refer to it. So, back in a minute. Thank you. Who is the true conservative? He's the person that understands that conservatism is not just about politics, but culture as well. He's not selfish, but minds his own business. He acts like an adult. He is patriotic and uses common sense. He expresses what he knows and does so with certainty. He makes judgments, refuses to speculate, speaks clearly and definitively, and is not afraid to say no. He's open-minded, asking why rather than why not. He is consistent, credible, and influential. Not ashamed of his existence, unafraid to learn or correct his mistakes. He is a normal American, and he is better than the socialist. He is a better friend, father, brother, family member, and a better person, period. You have to know that. If you don't know with every fiber of your being that being a true conservative is best, then you are wasting your time. That brings me to the end of another episode of The Drill. Remember that the left has no power, no authority, and they can't win. Think about it.